We're installing the K&N Intake for the GR Corolla. If you like a lot more turbo noise, if you want some increased throttle response, maybe get a little horsepower in the process, this is a great modification for your GR Corolla. Let's unbox it and get into it. I'm excited about this one because this car does have some unique intake noises. Reminds me of the Needler in Halo 3. Has this little like weird sound to it, so the louder we can get that turbo, the more fun this car will be. And the best thing to make your turbo louder is a intake that is not nearly as restrictive. And this thing looks pretty big. So we got a wrinkle red texture on the intake here. Maybe we can switch that up. We got a massive filter. I was telling Parker about this. If we take a peek at this real quick, pretty big. It's like wide. It's a little wider than what I'm used to. Jay threw in some hats for us over at Off the Line. Then you got the big intake box housing. This will protect it from the heat in the engine bay to keep your intake air temperatures as cold as possible. And then there's some ducting for the probably factory setup through the grill in the front bumper. Check it out up close and we'll get to installing it. We got our parts back from Matt over at Arizona Cerakote. I'm having some fun Cerakoting some parts. This was originally a wrinkle red powder coat, but I wanted everything to match. So I had Matt over at Arizona Cerakote get some spray out, Cerakote material, some high temp stuff, and all of my parts that I'm Cerakoting for the engine bay of this car are all this black right here. I'll have that color information on the screen. Have some fun. You can use the locator on their website to find people who can spray Cerakote, and you can bring them your parts and make your engine bay or different parts of your car look unique. This is the first car that we've ever done where it's gonna have a handful of Cerakoted products, and I'm excited to see how it looks and just give this car a nice OEM plus finish with this high temp black Cerakote here. What are we doing?
Intake stall day.
Intake stall day?
Yeah, install day.
Got quite a bit of hardware for an intake. Parker, you want to start us off?
Yeah, we got these like nipple things right here that we're gonna put on the bottom with 3 Allen bolts right here.
These are the plastic mounts that go into the bushings to hold the actual intake box.
Yeah. And then it came with this, but we already popped one in. All right, we're gonna take this attachment and put it on the inside. We got our bolt, put a lock washer first, and then a normal flat one.
These are a 10. You can snug those up with that. Those are just plastic nut certs situation, so just snug is all you need. That's why you have a lock washer.
Lock washer, normal washer. Get our bracket. The normal hole goes on the intake. Slide it in there. Then we got our rubber locking nut on the other side. Get our 10 on both sides.
Step 1, remove the engine cover. Step 2, we're gonna remove this plastic tray piece right here. Plastic trim tool. Gotta have one of these fork looking tools. We're removing this because we have the air duct right here. That's a part of this intake. That's upgraded. It seems like this intake does have some unique parts about it with the install, so we'll learn together. In this intake duct, there's 2 plastic clips we're gonna remove. And we can slide it out. Next order of business, your mass airflow sensor right here. We're gonna press down on it and just wiggle it. Ugh, that one was stuck on there pretty good. And then this wire needs to come off that housing. So we're gonna get our trim tool remover, get underneath it, pry it off nice and slow, put that to the side. We will take this off, so I'm gonna unclip this, and then we're gonna undo that 10. You can use a screwdriver or a 10 mil. I'm always a ratchet guy when I can be. Hey. Okay, then we gotta get this hose off the top here, and a little one on the back. Don't forget about those. Tight fit, top half is off. So this bottom half can get pulled off. We're gonna pull this line up and around, and then we just need to disconnect this sensor. This long line, it goes all the way up here to a T. If we can look way up in here, we're gonna disconnect it. Just pull on it, and then it'll just leave it with like a taunt, like pull on it, and it'll eventually just slide itself off. Don't like yank it, just put tension on it and then it will come off, especially if the car is newer. After this line's off, we're gonna go to this sensor right here And on the right side of it is the plug. Just gonna take it off with an 8mm. This will get put on the new intake. All right, got some more leverage on this. And then there's a plastic clip on the side. I'm gonna take my pry tool. All right, our air box is free. Now if we come over here, very carefully, I'm gonna grab this hose. I'm just gonna wiggle it to see if it'll break it free. There it goes. One down. Cool, we're gonna need that. If you're wondering what your transmission looks like in this thing, it's from where these big bolts are right here, all the way to the right. Then you have your shifter and everything here. Pretty cool. All right, so before we forget, there's a little black cap it comes with. This is gonna go on that T up in here. Slide that puppy on. That's just gonna hang out there. That sensor, it's gonna go on our bracket. We're gonna get the ducting out right here, this other piece. Got a plastic pry tool. Looks like we have another. This has a little tab. You just like push the side of it. Pretty straightforward. Intake duct, the aftermarket one, we're gonna push our hood latch over. I'm gonna slide this in right here. And then you'll see it'll sit right here. So this second one over of the black tabs, I have one of the remaining bolts with a lock washer and a regular one. We're gonna thread that in. Just snug. And I can still move it a little bit if I need to. That's good, so it can pull in fresh air. We have our main housing. Make sure you have this wire off to the side, this wire up out of the way. And we can slide this in, get our duct in place. We're gonna take this wire and plug it back in. And then make sure we're fitting it into our mounting spots. Feels good. Looks like everything's in place. That's plugged in. Good to go. Intake pipe, MAF side, bulged centerpiece right here. That fits on there like that. Let's throw if I envision it in the car, I'm gonna want the hose clamp like this. So I'm gonna slide this on first, put it on the side that fits, push that on. Then I'm gonna take another one, put it on, ready to go. Then same thing over here. It's gonna be in there like that. Slide this on, smaller side of the straightforward one there, and then we're gonna slide this on right here. But this one feels a little bit bigger right now, so it'll be easy to slide that one on. So then we have this pipe ready to go. I'm gonna snug all this up just right. Before I put it in the car, I'm just gonna get the slack out of these clamps to make my life easier. Once I get up in there. Since I had matte Cerakote this, I took some air, compressed air, blew this out, make sure there's no sand or anything left in there, since this goes straight into the car. Now we're gonna push this into place. Now I can kind of slide the pipe in the middle of it. That worked out great. Now I'm just gonna start positioning my hose clamps in a really accessible way. Make sure it's got enough grip on all the pipes. Beautiful. Start tightening these. I really need to make sure that that's pushed up against the turbo inlet pipe. That was kind of low, I fixed it. Everything is super solid. Now we're gonna take our mass airflow sensor off. Phillips head screwdriver on the factory. If you notice, there's an arrow on this sensor. If you think about it, it was in the car like this. It's saying that the air needs to go towards the turbo. So I'm gonna walk over here, make sure the O-ring is intact. The seal is super important. And then pop that into place. Parker's got my 2 Phillips head bolts. Be very careful, these can be dropped and never found again. 3mm Allen head. If it's Cerakoted like this, the threads might be a little bit resistant for just a second, but they're all smooth. You're squishing a rubber O-ring, so I just get them snug. And then we can take our wire, clip it straight in, clip, and that wire can just chill right there. Hose clamp, filter, toss it in our box, slide it on. Have a field day on this clamp. Look it up. Some people would prefer to hide this. I'd rather it be easy to take in and out to clean this filter. This is a dry filter, so you can put it in some soap and water, clean it out from time to time. It's looking pretty sweet. The main part of the intake is done, but there is one kind of odd thing about this I've never seen and I want to learn with you. Right inside here, there's a spring clamp. Pull this up, and then this hose. There's our hose. There's the inlet on the valve cover. This hose right here, follow my finger, goes right here to this. This piece is interesting for this intake. Let's talk about it. So we teed off that one section with the cap for the vacuum line. So I think we're altering the emissions protocol system on this. So the opening here, I'm gonna like look at this line, and I'm gonna make an approximate little Sharpie mark so I know it's there. That needs to be facing the passenger side. But what I think's going on is that the crankcase pressure, ventilation, air that's created from the engine goes through this hose back into this little port right there, and there's probably a sensor, and since we mess with that vacuum line, it probably throws an engine code for something emissions related, and this routes the air down further, probably past the sensor, therefore bypassing that and saving you from an issue. So this edge is beveled so it doesn't fall in your engine. So we'll take it, slide it in here, and I want you to call me out in the comments and educate me here, but you can see if I'm wrong at all. But that's how that goes right there. Then I can take the hose and toss it back on, push it all the way down, and then pinch my deal, slide it back down. It's actually not hard by hand. Tug on it a little bit, that's not going anywhere. Get my tools off of here. I think we're good to go. I just got to put this tray back here. Got this piece cleaned up. Look at the fitment right here for this piece. Looks really nice. Grab all of our plastic clips, and then one by one start popping them in. These plastic clips, you'll have some leftover ones from that intake duct from the factory one underneath. This intake is going to sound sick. I'm excited. Matte Cerakote looking fire right here, OEM Plus. This thing looks great. This thing looks cool. All right, let's get to hear it now. First start.
She's looking clean.
You want to fire it up?
Yeah.
All right, ready, Captain?
First test.
We'll let the idle chill out, and then we'll rev it up so we can hear the turbo a little bit. This engine is very boost happy, so you should be able to hear a lot, even just revving it. Go ahead and give her a little pepper.
I can hear it from here.
Yeah.
You hear
Like
it?
stab it hard and then let off. Yeah.
I can hear it. It's loud.
Yeah, you hear. Oh, wow. It has the coolest little noise.
Kind of sounds like a video game.
It does. It sounds very video gamey. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That
sounds
solid.
good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can tell. You can definitely tell. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can tell. That's fun.
I just got out. Let's see if we can hear it when Parker pulls up to me. Oh yeah.
It like freaks out thinking I'm gonna hit you.
Does it?
It's like beep, 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 beep. the whoosh right by me. So Cam figured out how to get this turbo stutter.
Turbo flutter.
Or turbo flutter, not stutter.
I got a turbo stutter sometimes. So when I was like 19, I drove this dude's R35 GTR and he showed me this. He just and like let it boost up just a little bit, and then you just barely let off and it goes and the little turbo stutter.
Stutter?
Yeah. Running it.
Turbo stutter, boy.
If your turbo doesn't stutter, is it even cool? All right, fourth gear. The car sounds a lot cooler with the intake, but if you want to make the exhaust note louder and really give this car personality, if you click this video right here, we'll install a full cab back for this car.